Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about why complaining doesn't change anything in your life. So guys, we have as humans a tendency to focus on what's wrong in our lives, and that's natural. That's ingrained in us because hey, we want to make our lives better. We want to fix the problems, right? We want to get over certain things. We want to overcome certain hurdles and roadblocks, right? However, most people go about that in the wrong way by complaining, right? And complaining all the time, every day, right? So complaining, guys, doesn't get anything done. It doesn't solve any issue. Whenever you have a problem in your life that you're trying to solve, like let's say, hey, you want a promotion or you want to make more money, or you want to have a better relationship or you want to lose weight, whatever the goal is, you always want to ask yourself, what's the solution? What's the solution? I tell this story all the time, but I'm like everyone, right? Like I lived with my parents for up until about 2 years ago, right? And I got sick of it. I got sick of, my parents telling me what to do. I got sick of, the TVs blasting all day. I got sick of, the junk food all the time. And what I did was, instead of complaining about it, I sat down, for a little while, realized, hey man, nothing is going to change unless I do something about this. And at the time, I didn't have any money to move out yet. So I made a decision in my mind that I was like, hey, I'm just going to save up a bunch of money this year. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to work a bunch of overtime. And in 12 months, I was able to save up enough money to put a down payment on a house. And I got out. But what did I do differently that most people wouldn't have done? Instead of complaining about it, continuously complaining about it, and like I said, I did complain about it for a while, but I just realized, hey, if I don't do something, I'm just going to keep these stories, and this frustration is just going to keep building up inside of me, and it's never going to end unless I do something about it. So what did I do? I decided, hey, I'm going to work a bunch of overtime. I'm going to pick up a second job, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to save my money. And a year from now, 6 months to a year from now, I'm going to put a down payment on a house and get up out of there. And that's what I did. Problem solved. Done. No more issues. No, all of those things I was complaining about, gone. Right? And it can be the same way in a job. Like, let's say you're working a job that, let's say, hey, you're trying to get promoted, or you're trying to advance, or you're trying to learn something, and the company's not giving you the opportunities, or they're not, they're not following through with what they're telling you or whatever. Guess what? Instead of complaining about it, go find another job, go start a business, go do something. Because like I said, you can always complain, you can always tell stories in your head and go back and forth with yourself about how this is an issue, how this person is an issue, my boss sucks, this coworker sucks, no one gets held accountable, or I just hate coming here, the schedule sucks, I work too many hours, or this. Like, there's so many things you can bitch about, right? So many things you can complain about. But guess what? All of that doesn't solve the problem that you want to make more money, that you want to have a better life. None of that solves the problem. If anything, complaining and talking about problems and going back and forth with yourself and ruminating about how things suck, and, just having so much sorrow for yourself and, feeling sorry for yourself, all that does is it keeps feeding more of that stories, all of that stuff that goes on in your head all day. It just keeps feeding it, and it keeps attracting more of it, right? Because what you think about primarily throughout the day is what you're going to think about when you go home. It's what you're going to think about late at night. It's what you're going to think about early morning. So guess what? If you're constantly focused on the negative, if you're constantly talking about problems, or you're constantly complaining or gossiping with people about the issues that you're facing, which is, like I said, we all face issues. That's not something I'm trying to say that doesn't exist here. But what's the solution? If you keep complaining about it, you're just going to keep attracting that sort of those problems in your life, because that's all you're thinking about. But hey, guess what? If you think about, hey, what's the solution, and you start thinking about the solution, and you start taking action on things that solve the issue, then guess what? Sooner or later, a year, 2 or 3, however long it takes you, you're going to find yourself in a different situation, right? So this is really, guys, like, I don't think you guys understand how important this topic is, because like I said, a lot of people don't know how to cope with reality. They do, but they cope in the wrong ways. Like they drug themselves, or they off themselves, or they just continue to complain, right? So, like I said, instead of, coping with the problem with, like I said, more complaining or drugs or addictions, or even, offing yourself like some people do, what is the solution? And when you think about solutions and you analyze what they are and the action steps that you can take, you begin to take those steps, right? And when you begin to take those steps, that leads to another step, and then another step. And next thing you know, like I said, a year, 2 or 3 down the line, you're in a totally new circumstance. You're in a totally new environment. And now here's the thing. Here's the catch. Life is always going to have problems. I expect to have similar, like, problems that I'm having now 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. However, I know that with the mindset that I have, with the tools that I have, I can overcome anything and I can solve anything in my life. I can overcome any hurdle, right? There's God, no matter what, guys, whether you realize it or not, God always has a way out. There's always a way out, right? Like, for example, let's say, I want to transition into entrepreneurship, right? So if I want to transition into entrepreneurship, right, what do? Well, hey, I still got to work my job. I still got to pay my bills. I still have to put food on the table. But guess what? When I go home, I can learn about trading. I can learn about crypto. I can learn about sales. I can learn about how to build an audience. I can learn about how to be a better speaker. I can learn about all of these things. And all of these things that I just mentioned are things that I can study and I can implement right now. I can learn how to trade, day trade right now. I can learn how to invest in crypto right now. I can learn how to build an audience, be more charismatic, be more influential right now. Those are things I can do. I have complete control of that. So I would be a complete idiot to not take action on that and just sit in my current life circumstances. Oh, woe was me. Oh, this person sucks. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, this is a problem. This person stresses me out. And like I said, all that does is it just keeps feeding the negativity, and you just keep attracting that sort of energy in your life. And guess what? When you keep attracting that sort of energy, your life just begins to go down and down and down and down. And next thing you know, you're homeless, you're dead, or you're just completely like void of any emotion of any life because you're addicted to drugs or whatever. So guys, like I said, the reality of life can be very scary if you don't know how to deal with certain things. And like I said, talking about problems only leads to more problems. Talking about solutions leads to the solution. So guys, we have to really reframe our lives and understand that, hey man, if you don't like something that's going on in your life, we have to start thinking about what can I do to solve it? And align your thoughts, when you're thinking. And guys, like I said, this takes a lot of mindfulness, because it's easy to get caught in stories. And like I said, your mind, you always like to feel like you're a victim, or you always like to feel that you're being wronged. Your mind just, it doesn't, like I said, as hard as, like I said, some people are better at taking accountability than others, but the ego doesn't like to take accountability. It doesn't like to feel that it's wrong, or feel that, you know what I mean? It's just, it always wants to project. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. If I was in a better position, I'd have more money, or this or that. Like, it's always something. So you have to be mindful of how your brain works and how your ego works, because like I said, if you let your ego destroy you, it will. So focus on the solutions, figure out what they are, get excited about it, start working towards it. And when you start to see progress, it'll motivate you to continue to keep going. And eventually, guess what? You're in a totally new environment. You have new circumstances. You don't have to deal with the old garbage that you were dealing with. And like I said, life's good. And, like I said, problems aren't going to go away. But now you have the tools to be able to navigate the issues better, as to prior, when you were complaining all the time and just in an overall state of negativity. So yeah, that's it. That's all, guys. I hope this helped. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.